Salutations, ladies and gentlemen. This is Phazon Dude 117 here with another in real life tutorial. Now, today I'll be showing you how to do reflections. Now, here's a sample from Derpy the Flop version 3.02. In this scene, I created Derpy in this little seat right here in front of the business desk. Now, as you can see right here, if I just put Derpy in here, it doesn't flow nicely with the desk because the chairs have its own reflection. Now, you'll say to yourself, okay, how do you make a reflection? Actually, it's not that hard. It's actually quite easy. Now, here is the final result. I'm going to be showing you how to do that. Yeah, it's kind of just there and that, but it's pretty much straightforward, believe it or not. It's really up to you and how you want to look things in accordance to what you're using for your desk. Now, for example, we may have, where is my visual pictures? I'll give you some visual pictures. Now, for example, you may have reflective, polished wooden desks such as this, which will change the way the reflection will look, or you may have very much intense reflection like this one, which will reflect any single thing that's laying on the table, or you may have like teeny amount of reflection that kind of blurs out with this type of particular table. Now, like I said before, it really depends on your type of table that you're going to use. If you're going to use a very reflective one, I'll show you how to do it. If you're going to use a very blurry one, I'll show you how to tweak that a little bit too. Now, I know that the wallpaper is pretty much cut off. I'm actually having dual monitors as my final wallpaper, so I'm going to bring Windows from my other monitor and I'll bring it to the main monitor. But whatever, let's go back to After Effects. Okay, as you can see, I've placed Derpy behind the table. If you don't know how to place ponies behind objects, please look at the tutorial links below. That was my most recent tutorial on how to place ponies behind objects. Now, as you can see here, I already went ahead and placed Derpy behind an object by masking it. For example, if I take the mask out, it just simply looks like she's standing there. So I just basically cut her out and bam. Let me uncheck the, there we go. Let's do this again. Bam. See? And I put it right there. Now, we don't have a reflection. What shall we do? All right, first step is grab your character. Doesn't matter if it's masked off or it's just a simple standing pony there. Any of those will work. But if you, I want Derpy behind the desk, so I'm going to leave it masked. I'm going to select my, let me delete this right quick. Delete. I'm going to select Derpy here. I'm going to hit Control and Z or D. Control D for duplicate. Now I got two. All right, 1 and 2. They both have the same thing. I'm going to go to my second one just to avoid confusion. I'm going to rename it as Reflektorishnivenika. Now I'm going to select the Reflektorishnivenika. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to go to transform. What we're going to do, we're going to flip it vertically. Now, when we flick vertically, it's going to have another copy like this. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold shift. So that way I only control the Y axis. So I'm going to hit shift and I'm going to drag up and down. You see, it makes it easier for me to drag it up and down without going left and right like this. So I'm going to hold shift and let me zoom in right here. I'm going to try to match it right where the desk cuts off with a pony here. So just like that. That looks fine. All right. Now you're going to say, hey, it doesn't look like a reflection yet. No, just hold on. Just be calm and patient. Right now, we're going to alternate the opacity. So we're going to hit the drop down arrow key here. And we're going to go to transform. Now from this step over on opacity, it's going to be really up to you. This is, we're going to come where I show you those picture examples. Now, for example, here's kind of blurry, and not that blurry, but it's very reflective. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it and just lower the opacity just a tad bit, right? Where the reflective seat and the reflective pony blends in together. So I think that's a good marker. Or I'm going to lower it a little bit. Maybe, there we go. That's not bad. Okay, now let's say the table doesn't reflect the whole body. So what can I do to cut out at least the head? I just want this down body here. Well, I'll show you what I mean right quick. So I'm gonna go back to my mask here. There's a mask already there, so you're gonna have this mask selected. If you don't have a mask there, for example, if it's gonna be like that, then you're not gonna have a mask column here. But whatever, that doesn't matter. What we're gonna do is, I don't want this portion of the head to be reflecting, because reflection kind of fades off, like this one right here. It kind of fades off. It doesn't really read this whole color back here. So what I'm going to do is kind of hit G. I'm going to make like a little slice here. I'm just going to zoom out, just make a big, why is it green? Okay, there we go. I'm just going to connect the dots here. What I'm going to do is, I want this portion off. But as you can see, when I made the mask, nothing happens. Well, we're just going to go over here back to our bar. For the second mask, or the first mask, if you only have one mask, I have two masks, so it's going to show the second mask. I'm going to hit the drop down arrow and hit subtract. That way, it chops out that portion of the head. Now you're going to say, hey, wait, it still doesn't look right. You got the opacity right, but the head kind of looks like chopped off. Doesn't look original, doesn't even look natural. Well, that's simple. You're going to go back to your mask here. You're going to hit the drop down arrow. When you hit the drop down arrow, you're gonna be seeing mask feather. Now, again, this is totally up to you, and you could increase it as much times as you want to your likings. So I'm gonna increase this. What's gonna do is, I'm gonna zoom in here. What's gonna do is, it's gonna kind of fade, have that fade effect, right? See, kind of fades, not much. I'm gonna raise this mask higher. Just a tad bit, so it kind of fades. Oh wait, ew, that's too much fade. Ugh. Yeah, my render thing is on final quality, so it's gonna take a bit of time. But anyways, you know what? That looks good, right? I think that looks good. Now again, you could adjust this to your likings. For example, like this reflection here is kind of blurry. Well, this reflection isn't blurry at all. Well, all I'm going to do is add a blur effect. So I'm going to go back to my reflective, and I'm going to go to effects, and I'm going to go to blur and sharpen. Now right here, you can use any kind of blur you want. For me, I personally like the box blur. Now from here, I'm just going to increase the box blur by 2, I think. There we go. 6. It was 6. Well, anyways, look at that. It got more blurry. So, hey, what do you think? I think it's good. You know what's awesome though? As soon as you render out the scene, it goes with the body. So you don't have to do any animations. You don't have to do any movements. You don't have to manipulate this at all. It just moves with. Oh man, hold on. Error. I don't want this wing. Let me fix that right quick. Yeah, kind of. You got to make your mask a bit big, because if not, it's gonna kind of. There we go. I'm gonna drag this out here. Yeah, if you have the feather way too up, it's kind of gonna not cut out the thing. So, whatever. Just fix and play around with it. Now let's try this again. Yeah, not bad. I like that. It moves with the body. Good. It's kind of good. Perfect. Just the way I like it. So if you want it to do it the way you want it, then by all means take your time. I've just rushed this just for demonstration purposes only. So as you can see, it's pretty good. Now, of course, you could just adjust this to make it a bit higher. There we go. And bam, you have a reflection. Well, I think that does it for this tutorial. If you have any other questions, by all means, just go ahead and ask away in the comment section below. Like I said before, you have objects cutting off from the table, then just be sure to use your mask to cut it out. All right, like you could just lower this, cut out the reflection, or you could raise this and include more reflection. But you just want to make it as realistic as possible, so we'll just put it like this, where it cuts out. That's basically it. I think I've gone a little bit too fast in comparison with my other videos, but I think I did pretty good. Anyways, enough of me talking. It's already 10 minutes into the clip. Have a good one. I would like to see your real life projects. Be sure to share them in the comments below. And I'm out.